Now, if we want to talk about that reaction profile here, we can understand that there are actually two kinds of categories of ways that we might imagine looking at it. So I show them here to you as cases 1 and 2. These are cases where I start with a certain amount of A and B. All A, no B. Case 2, all A, no B. Initially, Q is equal to 0. Q is equal to 0 here. Over here, Q is equal to 0 to start. And then I say, ready, set, go, and the reaction happens. So what are things that could happen? Well, the reaction could happen, or check this out, the reaction might not happen. Let's draw a picture of what would look like if the reaction didn't happen. The reaction would start, and then it would stop very quickly. I would have maybe a little bit of B form relative to A, because I can't have QB equal to infinity, or QB equal to 0. But very quickly it would stop, and I would see that the ratio of the A to the B here would suggest that nothing occurred in the reaction. Q here, when I ratio B over A, would be a number very close to 0, a number less than 1, a number suggesting that the reaction didn't happen. And yes, since the reaction didn't happen, suggesting that delta G is positive. On the other hand, here's the case where something does happen. The reaction occurs, ready, set, go, and wow, look at that stuff go away. Look at that stuff form. Nice, pretty shapes to it all. I don't care how fast it is. It could be really fast, it could be really slow, but I look up 2.5 years later, and guess what? The ratio has changed such that I now have more B than I do A. If I have more B than I do A, that means I have more product than reactant. That means I have a number greater than 1. That means that the reaction happens. That means the delta G is negative. So let's think about this as in terms of the hydrogen balloon that we started with, and think about it this way. What if we had a reaction in which I had all hydrogen and all oxygen, and I said ready, set, go? Boom, it explodes. The hydrogens and the oxygens all react and they go away. The waters all form. I would say that reaction happened. K is going to be a great big number. Delta G is going to be negative. Let's talk about the reverse reaction, the reaction that doesn't happen. Let's start with a bucket of water and no hydrogen or oxygen. Ready, set, go. Nothing happens. Maybe a little bit of hydrogen and oxygen start to form. Maybe a little bit of water goes away, but Q remains less than 1. The reaction is going to be non-spontaneous. Delta G is going to be positive. This right here is a nice qualitative picture of a reaction happening and a reaction not happening. Interestingly, notice that in both cases, this value right here and this value right here, the amount of B and the amount of A at equilibrium, whether you started on the left side going this way or the right side going that way, end up resulting with Q becoming K.